Okay, moving on to 8.2.2. I'm going to split this into two pieces. So this is part A, where I'm going to look at number 5 through 8 and 13 through 19 odds. So now in 8.2.2, we're looking at parabolas whose vertex is at HK. So HK could be 0, 0. So it could be just like what we saw in 8.2.1. So when h and k is equal to 0, that means the parabola is located on the origin. But it also could be elsewhere. So h and k are, you take your parabola and you shift. You shift in the x direction h units, and in the y direction, or the vertical direction, k units. So this looks familiar to when we did some shifting of our graphs. You can see that the piece that's with the x is the h, so that's the horizontal shift, and the k is with the y, so that is our vertical shift. So we used to see over here the plus k added over here, but now that it's with the y in the parentheses, it goes the opposite direction. So it's a negative k, just like the h. Okay, so we have our shifted graphs. These follow most of the same rules except as if the vertex is at 0, 0, except our vertex has shifted, and our focus is now shifted, and our directrix has shifted the other way, and our axis of symmetry. So everything has shifted. But it still follows the same rules about opens to the right or the left or upward or downward. So when we look at 5 through 8, very similar questions. So remember, my rule is that when I have the y squared, that means it's opened vertically. And if p is negative, it opens left. And if it's positive, it opens to the right. So let's look at 5 through 8. Let's look at number 6. Looked at number 2 before, so now we'll look at number 6. So we have the y squared, which means it's opening either up or down. So it's not these two, process of elimination. And I have a negative, so p is negative, so p is less, so that means I'm going to be opening to the left. So that would be, oops, what did I do? I eliminated the wrong thing. Sorry about that. Okay, so yeah, I messed up, didn't I? So when the y is the squared term, sorry, it opens left or right. Sorry about that. And our p is negative, so we open left. So that is D. Let's do a second one since I kind of messed up that one. All right, so let's do 7. Okay, 7, I have my x term is the squared, which means it's going to be the parent function y equals x squared, so that's opening up and down. And I have a negative out in front, so my p must be a negative 1 there. So that means I'm opening down. So that would be A. Okay, that brings us to the 9 through 20 section where we're finding the equation given a description of a parabola. So we talked about how to do that with at the vertex of 0, 0. So that was 9 and 11. So now let's do an example where the vertex is not 0, 0. So I have an example, number 14 for an example here. So let's see. My vertex is at 3, 5. So 1, 2, 3. Whoops, I'm going to use blue for my vertex. 5. And my focus is at 7, 7, 5. So this only goes to 5. So I'm just going to estimate 6, 7. And the height is 5. So there's my focus. So my parabola hugs my focus. So that's not very good. The focus is down the line of symmetry of the parabola. So there's my parabola. So now I can see, okay, this opens right. So since it opens right, that tells me that the y is the square term. So I get y squared equals 4px as my parent function, but wait, this has been shifted. So I have some more things to consider. So that brings me to my general equation with the shift. So I have the y squared term, but now I have to shift the y k units and the x h units. So I'm going to change my general function is actually going to be y minus h y minus k squared and x minus h. So that's my general function. I know that p is going to be positive because it's opening to the right. Then my y is shifted 5 units in the vertical direction, positive 5. It's gone up 5, so k is 5. And h, it's shifted 3 units. I'm looking at my location of my vertex. My vertex went from 0, 0 to 3, 5. So the x, it shifted right 3 units. So in the x direction, that's 3 units. And p, remember, that's the distance between the focus and the vertex. And I can see that is going to be 7 minus 3. I'm trying to draw that back in. So that's going to be 4. And I see that's positive because it's opening to the right. So p is 4. Do a plus. So my final equation, I'm just going to plug those 3 constants in. I get y minus k squared equals 4 times p times x minus h. I can simplify this a tiny bit. The x and y, I want to keep those as variables, so I'm going to keep those as they are. But the 4 times 4, I can write that as 16. So there's my final equation. So that is the first part of 8.2.2. And then we have one more video on that section.